Hello, fellow traders. Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Friday, January the 22nd. The year's 2021. Let's talk trading. It's time for the weekly wrap up. And you should just know that these videos are for educational purposes only, and your results may differ from mine. So, looking at the week, all gaps have filled. The pound 86 pips above the open. You can see it broke out at a previous week's high. Now it's pulled back off of the weekly high, 76 pips, and 149 pips off the low as I speak. And once again, the opening range for the day, you can see, or for the month, you can see how price came back down through it at 137.03, hit the monthly open at 36.41 and bounced and is presently at 36.70. You can see we broke out of the opening range for the week on Tuesday and haven't looked back. Year to date, 27 pips from the open, which is same for the month since this is January. Oh, somebody was asking about this indicator here. They wanted to know where they could get the GPS. You can set up the different time frames. This is a 2014 donational, and you can add in different periods here. So, for example, if you wanted to add in H4, you could do it. And you now have H4 also. Inside bar, there was a few inside bars to trade this week. You can see on the daily and the weekly, not so much on the monthly. And as you can see here, today's low broke inside that inside bar, got below 41.2, was actually 35.2, then reversed out of that inside bar range. So once again, a nice little horizontal line trade for those of you who like to look at the inside bars. Daily range, pound sitting right at 100. Only three other pairs above 100 on range. So range kind of compressed. And for those euro traders, only 38 pips. How are you guys trading the euro with such compressed range? You have to be really good. You can see we broke out of the daily low, possible 25 pips there, but we reversed right back up through that wick zone, and we're 21 pips above yesterday's open at the moment. We took out the pivot. It was about time. I think we had a couple of missed pivots in a row. You can see here way above the weekly open. But there was that pivot that got taken out. We'll see that shortly. Rats. If you, once again, just trading the H1 candle color, you can see here that would have been a holo right there inside the rat zone. Nice trade to the north. Weekly pivot got taken out earlier in the week. There's the daily pivot once again taken out. And here we go. There's the missed pivot 2 days ago and missed pivot from 3 days ago. Now, this is on my broker. I've got a couple of different brokers. I switched over and I noticed that this pivot had been taken out. So once again, you know, brokers have different opens, different times they close. So that's why your results may differ from mine. So the indicators aren't broken. It's just that if you have a different broker, you're gonna have different levels. Wick zone in and out. In fact, Walmall and I, we were looking at this wick zone, and we both hit the short side there. I don't think we took the long side. I think we were looking for shorts mainly because price was below the daily open, but there's a nice move to the upside. And just looking at all the different ranges that we like to analyze, high minus low, once again, 100, high minus close for you rats, 60 for the red rats, close minus low right now, 40 for the green rats, high minus open on the daily for you buy zone traders, 6 pips, so you can see there was no trigger for the buy zone to the buy side, but open to low 94, there was definitely a trigger for the shorters. Previous high didn't break out, previous low breakout at 10 pips. And you can see price pretty much covered yesterday's bar. So what's going to happen come next week? Are we going to come back down and take out these pivots? Or are we going to make a new yearly high? We'll just have to wait and see. Looking at the ATR screen, here's our open. Here's open minus 50% of ATR 5 and ATR 13. It came right down through and came back. So this definitely was a place to take profit. But I remember looking at the ATR when it hit this daily low, I believe it was right at 100%. So for the ATR 14. But you can see here the open minus ATR 5, it crossed that line, and the open minus ATR 13 didn't get there. So that's why I like to have the ranges, the min and max, so we can paint these levels. And as you can see, price definitely got in to those levels. And then also off of the current daily high and current daily low, you can see the D1 high minus the ATR. We also penetrated that zone. So those of you just tuning in, it's just these two simple indicators here that are in the mother lode or the build 1200, now build 1300 zip files that I post out on Kreslik.com. And the people who donated for 2021 have received the build 1300 zip file. Back to the simple price action chart here. Just taking the trade at the Walmart line was profitable. Last hour, you got a couple of pips, but as you can see, price is pushing back up right now. So anybody taking that or the previous H1 breakout right there, which was at 72, you're at 77 right now. So there was profit to be made taking either of those trades. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there were some questions out there. Appreciate the kind words. I guess some of you liked the a couple of the videos this week about if you make a mistake, what to do to fix it, and how when you do something stupid, it really does kill you. Because it really works against your psyche, especially when you're trading with real money. And the more money you trade with, and sometimes it really can wreak havoc with your mindset. And I think I mentioned that you should probably read your trading rules right before you trade, and maybe the last thing before you go to bed, just to burn it into your subconscious. And as I mentioned, make sure all of those rules are positive in nature, as opposed to don't have like do not do this or don't do that, or anything that has a negative. And that's because brains seem to work better with positive commands rather than negatives. So you just have to reword it into the positive. It's not that difficult to do. So for example, only trade with the H1 candle color, That's the positive, as opposed to saying don't trade against the H1 candle color. That's not a good one. So I hope those little tidbits help you, because some of the things that Walmart and I have noticed that we have a lot of different methods. In fact, somebody asked me, out of the 9 methods, which one do I use? And my response was, I just trade horizontal lines. And the methods that I present, with the exception of the pivot point fade, I do believe are all horizontal lines. We do have the DSR trades where, or rat reversal type trades, but those are we look for those setups, but we usually are taking a trade at a horizontal line even on those. So for example, we go back to the rat zone here. So right here, that would have been a holo trade. That's a horizontal line. But we can go look at the M5 time frame, and we can look for rat reversals at the M5. But once again, those are at level breaks, and which once again are horizontal line, as opposed to look for some kind of squiggly line crossover or something along the lines of divergence or overbought, oversold, supply demand, support resistance. So for example, here you had a red candle close, green candle close, go high, there was pips to be made, red candle close, green candle close. Actually, this broke the high of the red candle, so that would have been a nice turn trade getting in at the high. Once again, another turn trade. Red closes green, green breaks the high. And this is one of those lower low, higher close trades that was presented. I forget which year I wrote that indicator, but there was some trader was talking about it, so I coded up an indicator to show those trades. Let me see. Oh, Walmart has a 3-bar method trade, and this isn't it perfectly, but what I noticed was if you have a so here you've got a bull candle, green candle, then a red candle. That's about half the size of this. Then this turns green, and then it's like you just look for that breakout. That's one of the ways I trade it. So then, of course, we have the buzzer reversals, 3 or more candles in a row the same color. So 1, 2, 3 here, buzzer reversal, 1, 2, 3 there, buzzer reversal, and we just look for those. But sometimes you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row. So the more in a row, the more you look for a reversal. And the buzzer reversals, I think those were way back in 2008, 2009 when I was running those stats. Oh, and a trader sent an email, was asking about the flip-flops. So for example, here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red candles in a row, right? Now, would you say you have 2, 5 in a row red candles because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You wouldn't say that. So when I coded the indicator, I coded it to show what I see, as opposed to, a 5 and another 5. No, this is a 6. There's no 5s here. So at one point in time, that was a 5, but then that 5 became a 6, and that's the way that indicator works. So I hope that clears it up for that trader, even though I did send them an email response. So, fellow traders, that's it for the week. I hope you are having a profitable day and a profitable week and a profitable month, year so far. Have a real fun and safe weekend. And if you're here for the first time, come down and subscribe and click the bell to get notified so you can watch my videos. And just remember, when you come back to trade, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is TheRumpledOne, over and out.